Cairo, is it nice having an off season without so much focus being on yourself? Now that you've kind of got this job locked in and those things seem to be in the past?
Yes and no. I think this off season was special because I had a baby boy during the season last year, and so being a dad for the first off season, I think he kept my mind really busy outside of just thinking about football and how a normal off season goes. But I still think the plan for me is just to get better at myself as a kicker every off season. Just in going to every season, just reaching higher goals and stuff, and never getting complacent. So I think that was the focus going in after we got the extension done, and knowing that this will be my home and very happy about it. It was just how can I keep improving, because the bar is always going to be rising.
When you have a season like you did last year, what do you do in the off season or now to either mentally or physically to maintain it?
You just kind of keep doing the same things. I think when you go through a season like that, you still have the same thoughts that kind of there's a lot of confidence that goes into the off season and how to prepare. And I've always tried to kind of replicate every day I'm out kicking, the same warm up, the same sort of thoughts and focuses on technical, mechanical things. I applied that in the game day, and it feels like a normal practice when I'm out in the game day setting, just because I focus on the same routine, same kind of mechanical things. So it's just that, I just love the routine that I'm in, and just keep doing the same things.
When you look back on last season, what was it that allowed you to go on that streak that you went on?
I think there was a moment there after my last miss against the Falcons that I just kind of there was a little flashback that popped in my head of the previous teams that I was on, trying to come back from that injury, and I always felt that pressure. I put that pressure on myself that this has to be the opportunity that I bounce back. I just how many more opportunities am I going to keep getting? I have to make this one. And I thought about this, when I was with the Bucks, with the Titans. So there we go again. I missed a kick in Atlanta, and I just kind of accepted this. Look, if it's meant to be, I'm going to keep grinding. So if I get another chance here in this game, I'm going to attack that kick to make it. If I'm done, just I've got to move on, because I keep trying, and I keep not being the guy that I was in Kansas City. And I felt like I started playing a little looser, and just kind of accepted, put everything in God's hand, and every one kick at a time. Here we are. So it was humbling to go through that moment again in the middle of a game, and to just accept it and just kind of it's outside of my hands. Let me just go with it, one kick at a time, and see where the journey is gonna go.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You had that thought in the middle of a game. You're sitting there in the middle of a game thinking this might be it. And
Yeah.
You're gonna live with that.
Yeah, it's just kind of why am I kicking so well? Practice, keep getting workouts and just balling out workouts, and just kind of feeling like myself again. But in games, it's not showing. Why am I having misses in games? So it was just kind of a lot of questions. But then I just the confidence in myself never went away. But it was a lot of just accepting that who knows when this journey is going to end. And obviously, I kept going at it, and it's still got a couple more years left, hopefully. So it was just kind of like that, just accepting that, it's not going to last for long, but how long can I make it last?
Did you feel that pressure reduce then as the
Yeah.
13, 14, 15 weeks went on?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I came to terms with that, that it could come to the end right there, or, I could keep it going, which I wanted to do, but something just wasn't clicking sometimes in games. It wasn't translating how good I was kicking with the previous teams that I was on, but then one bad game here and there. So I think just a lot of pressure that I put on myself after the injury too. I needed to, settle in with the team and impress to, this kind of circle with kickers can be moved on so fast. So I felt like I needed to establish myself again so fast. And it's a lot of pressure on myself that I think I just let it go that one day.
So do you feel like you got over a hump mentally, career-wise, I'm talking about, as far as now it's just a matter of staying healthy?
Yeah, and it wasn't like a mental pressure that I was, aware of, because I was just so focused on like getting this opportunity and not take it for granted and make it happen. But I think in a way I was also putting a lot of weight on my shoulder that it was unnecessary. I just needed to kind of, just let things happen, and so I kind of came to terms with that last year, and I still accept that one day is going to end, and I'm just trying to make it last.
This week, obviously, with Pat out, what is the test of just, focusing in and concentrating with a different long snapper?
Yeah, so that caught us by surprise, and we made an adjustment there with Cole Komet, was our backup snapper during the day there at Soldier, and we kicked really well, Brian and I, and the timing felt different for sure, but we still comes down to O'Donnell cleaning up any kind of snap throws out there, and then once it's down, we just focus on us. So that hasn't, we're still going through here with Komet kicking or snapping the next couple of days, and it's not throwing off anything just because, like I said, O'Donnell does a good job cleaning it up.
How do you feel about Cole right now, just jumping into that role and trying to manage it?
Great. I mean, obviously, we would have, if if we had a game tomorrow, we'd have to just make sure our timing, was a little faster, because never had a Cole snapping on a team setting like that before. So I think Brian and I were just watching the ball a little more. So I think the timing would have to work on speeding it up, make sure it doesn't get blocked. But as far as just he was throwing them very catchable, like good speed balls, and then it just would be us getting comfortable in a game-like setting.
Havers talked a lot about O'Donnell as a technician, as a holder. From your vantage point, what do you appreciate most about what he does for you?
So, kind of like a caddy, like we have a game plan of like where I'm gonna aim this ball. I want the laces pointing at my target, and he points it there every time. I think Scales starts with him. He spins the ball a certain amount of rotations to make sure when O'Donnell catches it, the laces are forward, and then he does an adjustment with his hand to align the laces where I want. So that a lot of guys are just kind of just try to put it down first and then spin, and then you end up seeing a spinning ball as you're approaching it. Where Pat was just kind of on his way down to the ground, he already sets it up, and it's just kind of teed up for me. So like that's the part of the cleaning up that he's so good at. But it starts with Scales too. That he's
Advance to other holders that you've had in
definitely, yeah. I was fortunate. I will say I've had amazing holders with Colquitt, Kern, Hecker, the teams that I was with, and they're all really good too. But out here, you have to play a little different kind of balls that a lot of places that you don't normally do. So we've learned tips here and there to kind of lean the ball in a way that cuts through the wind better, and he helps a lot with that.
To that point about Chicago being a unique place to kick, do you train here in the offseason?
No, I'm training in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's very different weather. When we come out here in OTAs and stuff, it's still super windy. So that's kind of the biggest bulk of the work leading up to the season happens in OTAs, mini camp, and then summer we kind of bounce around from different places, kicking with different NFL guys, and but pretty much everywhere you go, like there's different winds. But out here, I feel like it moves the ball differently, and we get the bulk of the work during the OTAs off season, and once you get into training camp, it's continued every day. Just it's not like, oh, I've got to figure it out. Like I know how to kick in Chicago. Every day is sort of a different beast that you have to use your tools to attack it.
Does having another kicker in camp matter? Does it do anything for you?
I mean, definitely it keeps you competing. I think a lot of guys talk about iron sharpens iron. That Brian's is kicking amazing right now, and I kind of know that I just have to focus on myself, and we're all doing what we can to help him out too, because we think that he can play. But ultimately, it's just I just have to focus on kicking well, which I'm happy with right now. How I've started camp, and You know, if there wasn't a guy here, I think I'd still be locked in the same way, and appreciating getting more reps. And now having another guy here, it saves a little bit on my leg, with him getting more reps. But I know that every rep that I get, I make it count. Yeah.
How does that feel to have things coming together so well in life right now, where you have your son, you have career stability coming at the same time?
It was a blessing, something that I was, praying for a long time. After, getting, felt like I was the franchise kicker in Kansas City and had all that stuff going on. I think it was a little bit of a blessing at that time for him to come during a hard time, with COVID during that year, and then the league was shut down, not getting workouts. I was already in that mode of like, maybe I'm transitioning to just being a dad and a second career. Then I got a shot here, and there was another opportunity to kind of make it home. But at the same time, as we're getting closer to having our boy, it was like, it gave life a different perspective for sure. And then everything coming together, we loved our doctors here, dealing with that with the baby during COVID. And, the team helped a lot with dealing with that. And the guys are special. O'Donnell was going through the same thing with his wife, and they had a girl here. Has a lot of Scales had babies here. Nick had it. So I think that just the guys around, everybody just supported a lot during that time.
Can I just ask one more? Just going back to that game in Atlanta, was your fear when you missed that kick that you might actually be cut on Monday? Is that like what you were worried about? Or you just let it go?
There was no fear. The thing was like, I just accepted it. It was just, obviously I wanted to keep playing, but it wasn't like I'm afraid that my career's over after today. It wasn't. It was just like, I want another opportunity. And I don't think I ended up, it was early in the game I missed, so I ended up having just extra points, which I hit him just down the middle, perfect. And that's where the streak kind of started going. It was just like, I want an opportunity, and if it's to end right now, I accept it, and I'll be happy, moving forward, moving from football. Or if it's to restart a career, that's exactly what I want. So I just kind of took one kick at a time as they came, and just trying to knock him through. And it's the same mentality that I look forward to keep going, because it was a life-changing for me year with everything that happened. So I don't know. Right now, just keep attacking one kick at a time, like I did last year.